yeah.
Well, that thing, what do you call it?
Like, she just walked past us, yeah, just calm. And then we had a... I was like, what the fuck? And then she just switched directions and then went inside some gate. But she, like, walked forward and was like... And then walked back and then walked in the gate.
Was she in a car or was she walking on the street?
She was walking, man. That was so pointless.
Get out of there.
No, remember that woman was just throwing like, these nuts on the floor. Bro, we were just walking from there, this woman just had these things in her hand. Like, she took them, just throwing them on the side of her, and she walked past me and was like, and just threw.
Oh, wow.
Well, she would take stuff out of her pocket and just like,
what was it?
I don't know, we definitely, and like, she threw at me. That's the days that I got them at Flurry, innit? Remember?
And in your face.
No, that same day, we all went to get McFlurry, yeah? And then I was like, can I get a McFlurry? And then I got the ice cream, and then they was like, can I get a McFlurry? And they were like, oh, we got no more.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he said she put some juju on me to get the ice cream, bro. But it clearly worked, because I got
Bless you, bro.
You try to say I was selfish for not sharing that one McFlurry between like 10 men.
You should have shared that, bro.
Are you, what, everybody having a spoon?
All or nothing.
What, did I say
All or
that?
nothing.
Exactly. Come on, like, everybody get a spoon. We're not having a Ben and Jerry's night, bro.
So right now, if you had a McFlurry and no one else can get one, you think we're just watching you eating a McFlurry?
What are you going to do? Beat me up for it?
Oh, wow.
All or nothing, bro.
Actually, it's not rapping, bro.
What are you going to do?
All or nothing. You know that guy, McFlurry, your buddy. Get you. Did you hear the choices?
What?
McFlurry, your buddy.
The choice is yours.
Yeah, do a lot. I'm giving you guys. I'm handing out spoons. I'm giving you that tissues.
I'll use my hand.
You know that guy 6 minutes. Bro, I'm like, you know what? You guys are appreciate it better than me. McFlurry for you.
Alright, let's do it. Let's do the podcast. We're definitely in the podcast now. What are you talking about? Yeah, but he said you'll jump in, so let me see Yummy Kebab in the background. We can start the podcast.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, welcome back chatting Saltfish. I'm gonna say it again, there's a lot of voices. Did you see that teacher that got I'm just gonna get straight into it. Did you see some teacher that got body slammed a student?
What?
Wow.
Body slam?
He body slammed a student into a table.
Is this actual news or is this like where did this come from?
Yeah, where was this?
It's alternative facts.
Oh, wait, I didn't see this.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh!
Wait, no, I didn't
bro,
see that.
You know what it is? He told him a lesson.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, yeah.
Okay, alright.
No, the kids weren't.
Yeah, now I'm thinking
And then morning switched as well.
yeah, and a couple of things on the world.
Yeah, just
You know what my parents
Do you think in school we have do you think like teachers should kind of be allowed to discipline? Yeah, I think we have a teacher in the building as well.
To teachers to be allowed to
if someone
discipline.
Do you think they should be allowed to discipline? Do you feel like teachers should be allowed to
You
discipline?
want to be like, no, settle yourself, bro, and just drop it.
Huh? Oh,
How do you feel about that?
you'd like to, but you can't.
How do you
You
feel?
can't, especially like what age group is that as well? It
I
matters.
think he looked about like 15 as well.
Yeah,
so-
you
Yeah, he
can't.
looked like he's
The fact of
swimming.
it is, if you're,
It gets political when my man's the same height.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You have to show your authority,
like,
otherwise.
you can't like that.
No, like,
Your authority.
They're the same height, because some of these 15-year-olds now are
They're tall, bro. Yeah, for the
They
confidence.
start talking about everyone, bro.
I'm like, we're coming from a shorter generation as well. So
Yeah.
if these, like some of these 15-year-olds can look like they're about 20.
It's like Mike against AJ.
If you feel like a 15-year-old squared up to you in school and was unruly and ready to get aggressive and swing on you, do you feel like you have a chance to
That's what I'm saying.
defend
Yeah.
yourself? Like,
Yeah.
No,
You wanna act
that's
like
you're
a man.
bugged.
Wait, I want to hear it.
You're bugged either way. Either you have security in your school. If you don't have security in your school, then you're bugged. If you hit them,
But what
then you swung on a minor.
But what's the
The fact of it is like, look, like you said about the height thing, yeah? If a 15, my dad's a teacher as well. If a child tries to swing on him who's 15, he puts his hand on his head and holds him there. It's your, unfortunately, if you're short, it doesn't make it better if you're like, oh yeah, I couldn't defend it, you got to bang him up. It doesn't work like that. That's, yeah. you'll just get looked at like an idiot because of the fact you couldn't handle a 15-year-old boy without having to hurt
So
him.
what if they physically actually put their hands on you?
Can you restrain?
You have to try and stop them, but you can't swing on them
Can you
because they're
restrain
a
them?
minor, they're a kid. Yeah, it's hard, but it's just the way it
Can you
is.
restrain them? Though?
You can restrain them. You can, they still try and come from you. You can restrain them.
Headlock, bro.
But you can't be swinging on them.
Headlock.
Yeah, you can't be swinging on them.
Sleep on, bro.
Even in a state of danger. When the sleep on.
Give them that 3 ticks every 3 seconds.
That's it.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking though, isn't it like nowadays where like kids are actually thinking because you can't touch me, they're getting more unruly.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, of course.
Have you not
There's a lot of protection.
Yeah.
like even what situations did you have when you were in secondary school? Did you ever have any situations where, not you personally,
Do you remember?
you don't have to say names,
Yeah.
but you could tell me a
Remember
story.
our old tutor,
Yeah.
army guy. Do you remember when someone had beef with him?
Let's hear the story. What happened?
I swear he tried to block someone off.
Was in
So,
college or uni?
no, this is secondary school.
I know.
I swear
remember-
he tried to block someone off and someone was trying to fight him.
I don't remember. The only ones I remember from secondary school is the art teacher who got slapped.
No, punch in the face.
Yeah. That one.
But she got punched in the face by a male student.
Black eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a big.
Yeah.
Like,
She got in the way.
clearly see.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got away.
Yeah.
That's quite deep. I've not
Yeah.
seen her for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
People were laughing about that, so.
This is the thing. Kids think they can put their hands on students. Like no. The
On
students can
teachers.
put their hands on teachers.
Yeah. That's
So at that point, don't you feel like you could not kind of take some action?
But if then you're allowed
Just one
to...
swift punch.
no. Look, no one's. Sorry, go on.
No gun.
Yeah, no one's physically stopping you. Just be aware you'll lose your job.
Yeah.
It's just one of those ones that you have the freedom to hit them, just so you're aware. But the consequences of that is losing the job.
And
The
then-
same way that their consequences is you might get kicked out of school. The problem is they don't care about that. A lot of the ones who would willingly swilling on a teacher, they're like, okay, cool, I'll go centre, or
Some
you know,
kids
something
also,
like that.
Yeah, but obviously-
provocating, they just put the provocation on the teachers that they know that the teachers can do nothing.
Yeah.
So they would take advantage of it. And if a teacher then goes into action and slap the kids, for example, the parents going to come to the teachers, like, you slapped my kids, like, what are you doing? So
Yeah.
they're tricked, they can't do nothing, they know they can't do nothing.
No, but even in a situation where you got like, how would you feel though if it was like your kid that actually squared up to the teacher, like you saw the footage of them, like actually that same kid getting body slammed? What if that was your kid that got body slammed?
Yeah,
by
but
the
that's the
teacher?
thing. That probably
What
would.
would you think?
No, but that's the thing.
I go to my son. I said, what did you do?
Yeah.
Get
make
them,
that man
get that
Yeah.
to
to
make that
You gotta ask the questions
Yeah.
because one teacher to put you through the table.
Yeah.
Sometimes me
Because the
says,
teacher-
I
that's
slapped
the
him in the face
The
because
teacher will never put you on your
my
back,
mum.
yeah, for no reason.
For no reason.
We can kind of, I will discipline you, but I can
But to see your child get
Man,
body slammed, you are thinking like,
Man,
No, but obviously you do.
Man, man,
do you want to see your child get body slammed
No, but
to a
you think
table?
there's-
My man looked at the table and said, "You going for it?"
At the same time, I don't want to see my son punching an innocent man in the face either.
Yeah, it's true, it's true.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
you do, man.
But you saw he took one swift punch afterwards, so he body slammed it and he went for the blow.
Obviously, the teacher said, "You know what? At your desk, man.
Yeah.
I ain't putting through with that."
You'd have to deal with it on 2 fronts. Like, you'd have to deal with your child, obviously, but at that point, no one puts your hand on the child. You know what I mean? It's one of those things,
Yeah.
but you can't let your child know that you went and did that to the teacher afterwards. So it's
Yeah.
like you cuss him out, and then behind closed doors, then you go and deal with the guy who touched your kid. The kid can never know that. Then sir comes in with lots of black eyes the next day. What happened? Oh, I don't know. Like, it was
Obviously, only I'm the one that gets
Getting
me.
in class.
That's all. You know. I get what you mean there.
No, but definitely like, the fact
You can't have next one like throw your son on the table.
No, but at the end of the
Mark just stuck on this table business.
Yeah.
Too much wrestling.
Yeah.
Wrestling, bro.
That's why you're in school today. That's what you do in school,
Get
man.
the table, bro.
Yeah, but yeah, whichever wouldn't be the kids whose parents are like involved like that who'd be doing that, to be honest. Unless the teacher did something mad. Because if you have fear of your parents, you wouldn't, not to that degree, you know what I mean? It's usually the ones who don't fear no one.
Yeah.
You know, they ain't got no fear about
Yeah.
anything, so it's like, you can't do nothing to me.
No
You can't
teacher.
call my mum, she ain't gonna do nothing to me. Like that's the ones who act like that because they don't.
Yeah.
It's
They
weird.
have no boundaries.
Yeah, little 15, 16-year-old boys who honestly don't have no fear because there's no one like that. It's like if I don't listen.
Girls as well does that. You know, some.
Yeah, there's a lot of female gangs
A lot of
nowadays.
a lot of females as well would just go to you, and
You
they
know
will take
you can't
that
hit-
to their advantage.
you know
I'm a
you
girl, you're a man, you're slapping me, you're gonna be in trouble, and I'm gonna get away with it. So
Yeah, as soon as police hear about it, they're already thinking, you know, the opposite.
It's mad. But do you feel like we should be able to? Okay, like I know you can't, so you can't do it no matter how you feel. But do you think teachers should be allowed to kind of enact some kind of discipline?
Draw a line.
Like, would you be happy with for your kids to go to a
In some
school
countries they do
where?
it. I swear some countries do it.
Oh, I
They
think
still get hit.
Yeah,
yeah.
get
They still
beaten.
hit. Yeah. So.
Get beaten.
Like, would you feel no? But now in a UK school, if you had your kid
No,
in
that it
school,
would never happen in UK school.
no, how would you feel? Would you feel alright
I mean, personally,
sending
No.
your kid to school
You would
knowing
never-
that they could be hit?
personally,
No,
listen, what I feel that if you can hit a child at school, you can hit someone at work as an adult as well. We're all humans at all stages in life, you know what I'm
No,
saying?
but when are you? What, your manager's gonna beat you for not getting in the
Bro.
papers in time?
So what? Your teacher's gonna hit you in the classroom? What? You know what I'm saying? It's the same argument. You can't really, you know.
Because you know, if your
Yeah, I
manager
see what
touches you,
you're
yeah,
doing.
you will touch him as well. You know, like if your manager's like, oh, you can 5 minutes.
If you get into it, you're gonna.
Yeah, you're gonna.
My,
What in the work?
what I'm worried about is,
You're not gonna think.
Because you're a grown man now.
Exactly.
what I'm worried about is,
No
No
one.
man
That's
can
what I'm
touch
saying.
me.
So you're gonna react regardless.
what I'm worried about is all the latest news about pedos and all that. And imagine you're given a teacher, for example, who may have been classed as a pedo, that power to
Why
your kids.
they can't work in the school again?
No, but,
No, but I'm saying
they might-
before you find out.
Yeah.
Before you find out. Imagine they got the power. So your son, they come home and they're saying, for example, you ask how's school, and you can see they're upset, but they don't answer because they could be getting abused by the teacher, who now has the right to beat them if they say anything. So that's, you gotta consider that as well.
Yeah,
But
you
then-
will get some of them teachers that are like hungry.
That they abuse the power.
Just
Yeah.
beating them for no reason. You know them
Yeah,
stifled
yeah.
teachers.
yeah. Usually the one that got bullied when they're younger. So
But yeah.
You hear about it in prison and all times.
Yeah.
You know, when someone gets power, like to over someone, it goes like,
That's it,
I
yeah.
can hit you, so
That's in a
I
movie,
will. Do you
actually.
get what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
if
I've
I
seen the
feel like-
experiment.
But that movie is
Yeah.
based on
Yeah, it's a real
they
experiment
did.
when
Yeah.
they made
This
like they
very
want
much.
the prisoners and
Yeah.
and wasn't the prisoners?
Oh, that's mad. Is that when the guy
Algeria.
started getting an erection from like beating on the guards?
Yeah,
Yeah,
What
yeah.
is
My
it?
wife's
What?
watched that.
No,
She told me it's mad.
what?
Yeah.
That wasn't the scene that I pay attention to.
No,
wow.
Joker. Yeah, no, it's funny. Like, yeah, literally, there's a prison guard. Who plays him? You know the guy who's got the weird lazy eye.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that
For-
was
he-
Twitter company.
yeah,
He plays the guy. He plays the
Yeah.
guy. He plays the cop. Yeah, and he gets
Oh,
yeah,
oh yeah, him.
yeah,
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
yeah, and he gets excited off beating things. But yeah, you don't.
So
know
you
who
feel
he
like
is.
they'll get a sense of power?
Yeah, like
think
has
so.
anyone had a manager before?
Yeah.
Who just acts like a prick because you're the manager?
Even
Yeah,
the
no,
supervisor.
it-
Just
yeah,
same
you know?
age as you,
Then
but
you
they
can
got
go
promoted to supervisor.
way
Yeah.
back. You can go way
That's
back.
because
Yeah.
Mate, some girl my age got store manager.
Yeah, and what happened to her? What she do?
She's store manager.
But no, I'm not.
What did she do?
Some story.
No.
You see some random girl that's just became a manager.
Bro,
or
we started at the
something.
same time, I'm saying. And she became store manager.
Oh, I still don't know where this.
Bro, it's that simple.
I'm looking. Oh, so what's the story about? She's store manager. You look like she's store manager.
They sell out.
So yeah, but then even in that,
No, the whole
well, it's a sense of power thing. We were talking about
the whole
bouncers.
example
Bouncers think they have a
was
sense of power.
someone becoming your peer, becoming your manager.
No, I was just talking about people having power, like power and.
No, but there's an example.
No, but is she getting power hungry? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, she's power hungry. She's
Okay,
trying to
we
take
got
down-
there.
Yeah.
Are we still speaking about the teachers or?
Yeah, no, because he went on to say about power, like that they might
The power
abuse
that
their
gives
power.
them.
Oh yeah.
Because they might abuse their power, just like bouncers abuse their power at nightclubs.
Yeah.
What we were talking about.
bouncers, policemen, like you have to be careful with them things.
Then if we had beaten in schools, what the teachers are going to get power hungry and be like, oh, okay, let's all just start. beating all these
No,
kids.
but
everyone.
not everyone, but there will be some, and there
boy.
will be some cases where tragic things happen.
I've beaten
Some of these kids are vile, mate. Like
Well,
they'll
what I
fight
feel,
someone.
what I feel like. Did you ever take licks?
Yeah?
Did you feel like it worked?
No?
I didn't really get licked,
The only ones who
I think it worked for me.
It worked for me.
who gave you those licks?
My dad.
Yeah, but it's your
I'll not
parents.
do
So like when your parents give you licks, it's not just the fact you're getting hit. There's more behind it. It's why you're getting hit, who's hitting you, and what for.
happens is, yeah, alright, cool. My mum's gonna beat me for smoking weed. I'm just gonna not tell you and hide while I'm smoking weed. You're just not ever gonna find out, and I'm gonna make sure you never ever find out. Whereas if you give me an open platform, yeah, cool, I'm gonna come and tell you everything. So then you're gonna know that I'm not gonna go out and take cocaine, or I'm not gonna go and do this, because I feel like I can go to my mum and be like, Mum, this happened on the road. I see that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm not saying in school like they're gonna beat you for saying you get the wrong answer, or you just wear the wrong shoe today, so I'm gonna beat you. I mean, like if a kid is like,
it comes to your face, and
if a kid is showing physical violence towards teacher or that, they can be like, you know what, yeah, you know the punishment for that is like 3 licks. So go to the thing and take your licks. Because they used to do that. They used to do that though with the cane. Like the cane was actually probably pretty too harsh. But like still, it was a thing where it's like you get a certain amount of licks for certain behaviour. So you know not to be doing
when
that.
they grow up and leave school, and then someone violates them or disrespects them, they're like, ah, cool, so I'm gonna have to lick you down now. And that's how you get a violent mentality.
Yeah.
But again, like when your parents beat you, I don't feel like saying now, like, oh, now I'm gonna beat my manager or I'm gonna beat this employee because I think they did something bad. Like,
some people get the power from it.
I felt there was like, I'm now like, okay, my parents taught me that's wrong.
But then,
and now I know if I do that again, it's bad.
If you have like embedded into your head that's how you discipline people when they do something wrong, then you carry that out.
But you grow up. We've grown up and known that I'm not going to be beaten.
No, but you can't. I think we can't say it for everyone.
But some people don't know. But some people are just more violent. Some people are just more violent.
If your manager comes to you and beat you, what would you do? Would you stand there?
If who will beat me?
Your manager.
Like your manager. If your manager comes to you and beat you up, what would you do? Would you just stand?
If you feel like you're given the right to give it, you would have
Why would you? Why would you take a beating from your manager? And then go back to your keyboard afterwards. With a black eye.
So why as 15 would you take a beating from your teacher and then go back to your class?
No, I'm saying if you went to work and your manager said the policy is if you steal this from the company, you'll get 50 lashes, and then you steal this and they find out, then you have to take your 50 lashes because you know the consequences.
What means you have to, well, because
you agree to the rules.
You agree to it.
But what does it do? What are you achieving by giving them 50
That's
lashes?
what I'm saying.
Well, you're telling them don't do that shit because it hurts.
But what are you actually achieving?
Exactly.
You're telling them. I can tell you that with words. There's no difference from having 50 lashes.
There's going to be consequences for your
Yeah,
actions. If you have no consequences, then you're gonna be like, what are you gonna do me?
Yeah, that works with people that have like a sense of how things work. Like people that step outside the boundaries and are gonna steal anyway. Probably don't care about the 50 lashes. And if you come try and lash me, I'm gonna slap you because I just stole from you anyway.
But
My moral compass isn't straight anyway.
Yeah.
Your moral compass is straight, so I'm not gonna steal from you. Because
what
I don't
comes to
want the
worst,
beatings, but even if the beatings weren't there, I'm still not gonna do it. You know what I
Find a
mean?
new job.
But the kids you're trying to punish or the adults you're trying to punish whose moral compasses aren't straight don't care about the beatings and they'll meet violence with violence.
Yeah.
So you've either got a choice. You either educate the person or you just discipline them and throw them to the side. You know what I mean?
I do think I understand what you're saying. There's a balance as well, though. You can't just talk to like.
No,
There's
extreme circumstances.
Yeah, like
of course.
like the fact of it is like, apart from the fact that we're moral, if you steal, you go to prison. Do you get what I mean? If you like do horrible things, there are consequences, and they're in different ways. People, if you left us with no, like, you know them things like when there's like, oh, no society, and what would you do, and how do people go on when there's like zombies and stuff like that, and they see how people get. Like, it's the same thing for kids. It's like I think it all depends. It's about the consequences, but like you said, those consequences need to be well thought out. They have to be something that affects the kid or the person, and will actually have an effect. So some people getting beat is enough, if you get what I mean, maybe once or twice. Like my dad, he only hit me like 3 times, and I remember them clearly because he wouldn't hit me normally. The times he did, I'm like, raw, and I remember what he did it for me. It was like,
I wasn't beaten all the time, constantly, you know what I mean? But there have been times where I know I deserve that beating. I sit down like, definitely. It's like, I deserve that.
I understand.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think that's the part that people don't want to do. Like, you'd have to get to know your students and your kid. No, but your students, you have to get to know your students or the kids or whatever personally, to know what actually affects you. Do you get me?
Well,
what do you not want to happen?
That's another
What do
thing,
you- yeah,
because
so-
like if you got students who don't want to open up about themselves and they want to keep that secret for themselves, but you got teachers where they're gonna try to open up to the students, but the student will just refuse to open up to them because there's no trust there, and that would be even more hard to try to understand the students because they would just keep that for themselves. You know, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that some jobs, especially with teachers, it's not an easy thing. It's not just turn up and start teaching your lesson or whatever. Like there's lives there you have to try and interact
But
with.
some teachers, like, you get a sense where, like, you can't make students respect you. Like,
you
and
can't.
There's just a sense when you're in school, you know, when you just feel like that teacher's cool, but you don't know why. Like, they can't try with you. So if they don't,
No, but
show
even
you respect.
And 9 times out of 10, it's because they respect you as a person.
That's
and not as a
That's what I was
student
like,
And even that-
I was going to say that. I was going to say that.
and even that teacher will have students that hate them. That's what I'm saying. There will be even that teacher who everyone's like, oh, that person's cool. Like I think for secondary school, like you know, there will still be those students who
Yeah, there
still
was
think
some.
like that.
Yeah.
It was
You know,
Remember to-
it's not easy, but I think like you said, it's like just beating a kid or whatever isn't gonna solve
It's
it.
not nice.
Yeah,
So
it's just-
so the teacher don't need to do that, basically.
no,
It should've
the
been
problem.
teacher's
The
class.
problem is somewhere before that. It's before they get to school.
Yeah,
It's the kids as a thing. It's like, why is that kid
It's the roots.
in a space? Because remember, think about it. As people, if someone upsets you on your street, is your first response to go and fight that person? So for you, like if someone barges you on the road, is your first response to rock it out of the person, or is it to try and solve it a different way? So huh? Well, Phillips is like, no, I'm gonna.
I'm a Catholic.
No, I'm saying you're telling me. No, but you're telling me like when people don't barge you or rude in public, you're inside. You're like, you
You're not gonna
prick.
fight them though.
No, you're not.
Yeah, but you're gonna fight them.
No, but you're not gonna fight him. You're not gonna fight him. That's petty. But you're telling me you're not annoyed. You're not.
You might be. That's the thing. That's fine.
That's how you handle
That's
the
what I'm saying. It's how
moment.
you
Yeah.
handle it.
Yeah, and you don't do that. Why would you fight every person that barges you? You can't commute
Can I ask you, what would you do if the beatings didn't work?
if the beatings didn't work.
If you beat the child when they fucking hit you or try to attack you, whatever, and then everything gets sorted out, they get excluded for 2 to 3 weeks, and then they come back to school and they try to be a good student again, and then the same thing happens again. What do you do then?
What? No, but what? So I'm
Because
beating
like
him
the
again.
rule is to when you become abusive to a teacher.
Well, if it's
you
still
get
not
beat.
working, then you can
get
talk
beaten.
to them, maybe.
Why don't you talk to them in the
Before,
don't
exactly,
do
You
yeah.
see this
But
video,
there's
yeah? How have they got to that point? I feel like it's a failure on the
Because I
teachers
feel
part
like-
to even get there, to be swinging on the child.
And he's
How
a
do you let a
15-year-old, you shouldn't be
15-year-old
arguing
get
with him.
under your skin that much and not just tell him, get out of my face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
Get
your
out
job
of
as
the
a teacher
classroom. I'm
to
not
guide.
even going to deal with your stupidness. Go. Leave my classroom. You're disrupting the learning in here. I don't want nothing.
But do
more
you
to
say
do. Come
that
back, we
before
calm
or
down.
after he slaps you?
Why has he slapped you? What have you done to provoke him?
yeah.
Because I don't think that kid just stood up and gone, boom, and slapped the teacher.
That's
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
If
why
you-
would you do that in
Maybe
the
he said a
first place?
sarcastic remark, and the teacher said something sarcastic, and the kid was rude, and then he'll probably like sit down. He's like, "Oh, what, sir?" kind of thing. I don't know because you can't hear the audio.
But there's ways of dealing with confrontation, even if the kid's getting up in his face.
I mean, no, I'm saying the body slam. The body slam
But
was
then,
extreme.
no, the kid's gonna come to your face, provocate you. He's gonna do that
Yeah,
provocation.
that's where you
And
have
that's
to make
when
a
you're-
choice.
But
I'm
if
gonna
the-
body slam this child through this table, or I'm gonna
But
try
obviously,
to
I'm
defuse this situation and remove him from the classroom.
But
remove
then,
him
but
from
then the
me.
kid comes to you and get physical with you. Then, would you still? I mean, as a teacher, it's a role to keep calm, yeah. But what would you do in the actual situation when that chaos comes to you and swings on you? What would you do? How would you react?
I'll personally try and pin the child down and defend myself.
But that'd be easier for you though. That's the thing. You naturally would be like, yeah, I'll handle the child, innit? I'll handle him.
That kid was betrayed with you, man.
And not reacting.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what the kids that
That's what you would do as a teacher.
Punch, you get a bit paid, you don't know.
physically.
No,
Yeah,
but
if
you
you
know
see
what?
it,
Getting hit in the face, I've been punched in the face and I've decided not to react.
I think it's
Not
hard.
because
In that
not
situation.
because I'm intimidated,
Yeah.
not because I'm afraid,
I only see
because
blood.
I do not want to fight this person.
If someone hits me on the face, I only see blood. No, because
I glow.
I'll get to the stage where I'm just and I can't think straight. As in,
Yeah.
my only reaction is defense. They hit me again.
But then no.
Getting you even more, like the child even more angrier. Then what? Well, that's happened to me loads of times, and then I've gone to the
But
teacher.
you
and
as a
I've been
student,
pinned down because I've been like
But you're the
my
te-
anger's got to that point
but
where
you
I'm
as a
gonna hit
student
her,
shouldn't
innit?
be getting up aggressive to
Why not? Why not?
a teacher.
If she no
She.
no
She.
I saw the dude. I mentioned the dude. I was like, okay, it's a dude.
purposely getting under
She
my
hit
skin.
you as well.
What'd you say?
No, two male teachers had to pin me down in it. But literally, the teacher kept on getting under my skin. I'll tell her to go away, and she'll carry on following me. Like I'm trying to defuse it myself by walking away, and she carries on following me. Then what do I do then?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to defuse it myself, but she keeps on following me. I'm telling you, go away, because I'm getting even more angry. You following me. And then literally, she's literally right on my ass, like, move from me, because I'm getting mad for a reason, innit? And then literally, I turn around, get in your face, then I get pinned down.
But
And
she was
then
a
I
small
look like,
woman. That's why. And you got an angry black man over her.
So?
That's why I like pin him.
But if I know I can diffuse it myself, and I'm telling you to leave me alone for a reason, I know a lot of kids do tell the teacher, just leave me alone for a bit, and then like they'll go cool off by themselves, and then they'll come back and apologise, yeah? But then if she's following me, then what am I supposed to do then? Like, if I hit her, then that is, whose fault is that? Mine or hers? Because I've told her to leave me alone.
Yeah, I don't know. Look,
Yours.
the fact of it is, if you're outside in the street and someone upsets you and you bang them in the face, it's assault. Doesn't matter what they did to you.
Yeah, they're not gonna go
Because
to
it's the
court and be like,
law.
oh,
You can't just decide, oh, this person annoyed me for whatever reason. This person be shouting racist abuse at you. It would be a mitigating circumstance, but it's still assault. You can. That's the fact of it is that society has rules. And school is the first place kids learn that. So they have to learn. It doesn't matter how angry or all the time you hear, I can't control my temper, sir. Then it's like, it doesn't matter. If you go out and say, I can't control my temper, policeman will cuff you down. That's reality. But the problem is, like I said, is that you don't learn that. You know, if they haven't got someone around them, whether it's mum, dad, family member, whatever, who they answer to, what are you meant to do as some next random person they don't really care about?
You can be someone in the street.
Huh?
No, I mean,
That's the
teacher
point.
could be someone in the street because obviously they don't have the parents.
Yeah.
So you
Easily.
can just be anyone. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's
That's,
the point.
that's just the way they are.
That's the
But
point.
you know, because they're kids, they're protected. That's the thing. It's like they don't want to throw them out of school. You know, and if you throw them out of school, what actually happens? That's where it starts. So it's like, hey,
it's a
what's your
street.
consequence? If I'm a kid and I'm like, do you know what? I'm just gonna slap you because I want to, and I slap you. Now, if this was a street or outside as a man, and I just slapped you and you report me to the police, I'm going for a madness. Do you know what I mean? But as a student, it's like you're a minor, so you're protected from the law. We're probably not even we're gonna suspend you. Might not even expel you. At most, you get expelled and you just go on road and do whatever you're doing from a young age. So that's the problem. It's like, what do you do for that kid? You know?
If the teacher's doing it out of aggression, I mean, you're talking about something different, trying to enforce something through punishment, innit? But I think if the teacher does it out of aggression, like in that video, then it's a failure on their part.
Yeah.
The doing it to discipline is a different story. I don't think it works personally, innit? But it's different.
Okay. So we're gonna say then that don't hit him.
So all that for this, yeah.
The body slam was enough. You shouldn't have swung at him.
He shouldn't have swung at him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You can still say that with self-defense.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Me personally, if I was in that situation, I would have lost my job and swung all day.
Who you think about it, yeah. If I'm losing my job, but I'm losing it properly.
Alright, remember we were talking about this a while, but we wanted to get who was it on the speakerphone to talk about this? I can't remember. About the culture and race thing.
Wasn't the story about like dating someone from a different
race?
Race.
Yeah.
And then you said it's
Yeah.
that it's cool.
The girl
they
said-
appreciate or
Yeah, the girl said, like, are you okay with dating someone from a different, like, do you think it's right?
So in the Bible, it says
It was
that
about interracial.
in the Bible you should be with the same colours.
It was about interracial dating.
It was about interracial
No,
dating.
we didn't say that.
Spoke about relationships, and she's like, in the Bible it says that black men should be with black women, blah blah blah.
What's that? The chat.
Okay.
Do you think, like, what do you think about marriage? That's what she asked. That's what she asked the guy. She said,
Okay, you guys. Yeah,
she said, because in the Bible it
passing
says
through,
a
yeah.
black man should be with black girls. Like, like, do you think you should be? Do you think you should be like that's the way marriage should be? That's what it says in the Bible. That's what she told him. And like, is that right? Even if you love your girl and she's not of the race that it states in the Bible, is that wrong?
Okay, I don't think we focus too much on the Bible
I was
part
gonna
of
say,
it,
what
but it was
what if you're not a Christian?
yeah.
That's
But I think it's like that's a topic in general though, like just that whole thing of
Yeah, I
like,
think-
like you're,
I can
are
take
you
out the
really
Bible part, but then
yeah, like they say, are you really pro-black or whatever if you're white, if your partner
Yeah, it's like the
is
choice
white
can be
and
there,
stuff
yeah.
like that. That's a conversation that goes on at the moment.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's what it was. So yeah, everyone wants to go on that.
What do you feel about relationships and race? Do you feel like race? Do you feel how race? Do you feel how race has a part?
Oh, sorry.
Hold on. Yeah, so Daniel, you start because you had the most different but founded opinion as to what you feel.
Like, what do you feel
this.
about like relationships and race? That's what the question of Joseph was.
But that wasn't what you guys are saying. So okay, what you guys are saying was someone had brought up the point that it was fine as long as the other side acknowledges the other side's culture.
That's what.
That's where we got to.
Yeah.
And then I agreed with it. I was just because that's what I was trying to say. I was like, I feel like it was two different conversations.
Yeah, but
It was like I was saying the whole race thing and the culture thing. I didn't see it as the same thing. That's what I was trying to get at.
and that's what I think. Like, I'm not sure. You're right. Yeah, this is where we had debate. Is the difference between yeah.
That's what I'm
No,
saying.
but we
But I feel like
just
we didn't
me.
speak. It was only us.
Yeah, us three talk about it. But yeah, like I feel like they're kind of one in the same as well.
Yeah.
Because if you adopt someone,
No, because that's
you grow up with a culture because of your race most of the time.
Yeah, that's most of the time. But if you're from Grenada, think about how many people in Grenada like that are like white but Grenadian. I've seen a lot of white Grenadians, and it's like, how does race and culture play any part if you're of the same culture because you were born there? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you
I was
feel
saying it was just two different conversations.
yeah. So you feel like if it is like a different race in a relationship, they need to be able to embrace your culture, or do they have to adopt it as well, or do they just accept
I don't
it?
even want
Like,
to
do you want to?
I think they have.
Obviously, for it to work, you need to.
In this long time, I
It would
think you
need
have
to
to
be.
adopt.
Yeah, it would need to.
But then, why would you not adopt to their culture?
I think that's like in between.
It wasn't worth both ways. Yeah, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't be on one side.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You have to make it work in both ways.
That's why I was saying race. The race thing.
Yeah.
I didn't understand. I thought I wasn't really sure whether it was just a race thing or whether it was a culture thing. Because then we shifted it from race
It's
to
both.
culture.
Yeah.
No,
Not
I was just
necessarily.
saying we just established
You
that.
can be of one race.
So you feel-
but different culture.
Well, we cannot. Yeah, because you can be different races but of the same culture.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
Brazilian,
I don't think
that's a good
anyone
one.
says
Brazilian's a
that
really good
of
one.
our culture.
Yeah.
You know what anyone says.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone would say you see Cashman as black. Cashman is not black, but everyone would see Cashman as black. Everyone says
Yeah.
that.
So that's why
And
they're
it's like,
linked.
where you shift the race and the culture situation. Like, and I understand where that's where it makes it seem like it's one and the same. But then I was like, when it comes to dating, this interracial thing wouldn't make sense then, because it's like if you both are from the same sort of area, you're both gonna kind of mesh in the same.
It's not even that. It's not even that. It's if you take in a relationship with that person with a different culture, you make one.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, she has to adapt to you, and you have to adapt to her. It goes
Yeah, of
both
course.
ways because you make
Yeah,
one.
and that's what I'm saying. But would race affect that?
Yes.
How would race affect that?
You will affect it because it's not the same culture from the beginning.
But what if you were both born in the same place? So okay, I was born in Grenada, I'm white, and you were born in Grenada, you're black, and we get together. What I'm confused.
Yeah, no,
But people are using that,
race
though.
has no connection to culture, especially nowadays.
That's what I'm saying.
The London culture is the London culture.
Let's take me for example.
White, black,
So,
Indian,
that's what
I've
I'm
got
saying.
Asian friends.
So when people are saying that race, like
It's
when
simple.
people are still saying then like, oh, you should still be with the color, they're the same
That's
color.
all it is.
Then
That's
why?
all it's a
So
racist-
race and relationship plays a part.
It's a
then.
slight
The thing,
erased
yeah, you
mentality,
can't even
not
take-
to- Do you know what I mean? Like, when you make it, when you're real about it, it's just simply trying to keep the race the same. That's all we're having a discussion about.
Yeah.
But we're like masking it with culture and stuff like. It's like that's all it is. Like, would you rather your child be fully of your
Colour
or
or
not? That's it.
Yeah.
That's ultimately. what
I
it
think
is.
we can argue that because I'm actually living this at the moment with my girl. She's from the Caribbean. I'm African.
Yeah.
Okay,
See,
so-
this is good. This makes a lot of sense. This is
So
good.
my mom, for example, in the beginning, she couldn't
Exactly.
agree with the fact that my girl was from the Caribbean and we're
and
African.
they're both black.
And we're both black.
And look how much, look at the kind of clashes we have with African and Caribbean.
Caribbean.
Yeah.
That is a good
You know what I'm
example.
But no one's gonna say anything
What's the
about
race?
no one
But
else
for
is
me,
gonna
yeah.
say like no one's gonna look at a relationship weird because they're gonna be like you're the same
people from the
race.
cultures, might.
Yeah,
No,
look-
so the
Like,
culture,
if you got someone who's heavily Caribbean, the Caribbean
Culture
part,
wise, me and my girl, me and
Yeah.
my girl, culture wise, is very different, but both black. So if we go out, no one will be shocked to see us
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, because they'll just assume.
Yeah,
it would be
that's
like
like
a normal black couple
Yeah.
like together.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when you look at the roots of the story, and you see that my mom doesn't agree with with the fact that she is Caribbean.
exactly.
It'd be stuff like when you go to family functions. If you go back home, do you know what I mean? So imagine you went to go visit your family. Where are you from?
Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast. So imagine he took her over to Ivory Coast, and then they clearly see the difference in
Yeah.
culture. It'd be the people there who'd be like, okay, you know, and your family and whatever who might have an opinion.
Yeah.
When people outside who don't really know anything, they just see colour. They don't know about where
Yeah.
you're
At
from.
the beginning,
Yeah.
it was a big struggle for my mom because she expected that I would be with a African person. I choose the way around. I choose a
Yeah.
Caribbean girl.
Yeah.
For her, it was like, son, you betrayed me.
And that was my original point as well. Like most of us kind of like that kind of stemmed from like our parents or like our grandparents. Like in my head, I always thought I'm gonna marry my race.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like no matter what happens, ultimately I was gonna be in my race. But now, like as time's gone on, I don't feel like I don't think the same. Do you know what I mean? And it's because like the cultures and everything are mixing to a point where it's like. You know what I mean? It's like I don't see. I understand that race is a thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's a big thing for some.
For you, it's not a big thing.
Yeah.
But with you, is culture a big thing? Like being able to embrace your culture.
But then again,
Like,
it
could you
depends
do with
on
someone
how-
that doesn't embrace your culture?
But then again, it depends on how our parents grew up and the things that they got told by our grandparents.
Yeah.
In a way that, we grew up in the same village, and now the only thing that you're exposed to is your own culture. And they wanna basically drag the same tradition.
Yeah, but there are countries that do that, and that's what we were talking about also, because it's Western places that mix like that. Like when you have like certain Asian places, you have certain Asian countries, you have like certain countries where that is like
The dominant,
the
yeah.
race. They all like are with each other.
Yeah.
That's like, do you know what I mean? So like just have somewhere like China or somewhere like that. More time in China. Chinese people are with Chinese. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's. I don't know if it's generalized, but
No,
I feel
that's
that is
true.
probably how it is.
Yeah.
That's true.
No, I
That's
definitely.
how it is, though.
I agree with that.
I definitely think that a lot of it, like you said, like if we're honest, like we're just all of us are a little bit either prejudiced, discriminatory, or
Yeah, of
racist.
course. Yeah.
And a lot of it comes, like you said, from people's parents. Like,
Yeah.
for when I go to my family functions, you guys know I have a lot of them. Like, my whole line of aunties, they're thinking is a little bit racist.
Yeah.
But there's a reason behind it.
Uh-huh.
Because for us, we're this generation who are very, like, kind of oblivious. Because we live in a time where things aren't equal, but they seem equal.
Yeah.
Like, we don't face no real overt difficulty.
Yeah.
That's what we
Where-
were talking earlier when
Yeah.
we were speaking about ASAP wearing that bag. That was another story.
Yeah. But
That's
yeah.
another story, but yeah, I see your point.
Yeah, we don't face any overt difficulty. Where my dad straight told me stories of like he had a white girlfriend like when he was like 20. He got rushed by a group of white men. Like
You're not
they
meant to
came
be-
from because you're not supposed to. But he lived that. Do you get what I mean? My aunties are a bit older and as black women as well, they went through a ton. So because of that, like they know all the people then who had those type of actions, and that it wasn't a 1 or 2 person thing. This was the general consensus between the two races. So when you've got their kids now who don't really know as much, but we've been taught little things, and then remember the people in power are generally still people from that race who are older men and whatever, where it's like it's always a little bit difficult for them. Like for example, a lot of people talk about, why is it when a black man gets rich, does he go to a white woman? Generally. And I can't lie, it does happen a fair bit.
We see it.
And
We got the facts.
Footballers do it a lot.
Yeah, it happens. It happens a lot. It's noticeable.
Yeah.
It's definitely noticeable. And that would be things like, okay, maybe when you get to that point and you've got that kind of money, and you look at the people around you who are like, okay, I don't want you to want me for my money. Maybe the only women who are like that are white.
Yeah.
Do you get me? Maybe you don't get many black women at that level who you're like, I know you don't want me for my money because you've got your own. Do you get what I mean? Maybe it's because they're seen as it's a lot deeper than that. But like, there's other things. So when they see that, especially as the women, that I feel that's where the hate that whole thing comes from. There are mothers, so they kind of they put it onto you. They're everyone's mum, so it's like no, you should be with value us. Don't value them over us.
Your mum, is like you're probably your biggest influence on my life. So like whatever mummy kind of plants, it will always grow.
Yeah. I think it's generally believed though, like what Dane was saying in terms of like race is not the my defining factor. Anyway, I would say the culture thing is definitely much more key. And I'm not saying adopt my culture.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying adopt my culture like all of a sudden you just start talking like me.
Yeah.
But that's not you. Like that's not you. Like what are you doing? That's not you. Like you just started doing that. So why? Because I hang out with you now. Like you shouldn't be like that. But I mean, just like for instance, I don't know. Like I'm having West Indian food at home.
Yeah.
And she's like, let me grab a plate. Or she might one day I come home, she tried to cook it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. It's like that I would like. That's like that, I don't think that's an insult on my culture.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
But if you all of a sudden just start saying like wagwan or something, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, relax. Yeah, I get that. But like, of course, I understand trying to like learn about someone else's culture. Because I appreciate that too.
Yeah.
So if your girl started just saying like, if you started parroting how you talk and stuff.
No, because then
that's not really.
Yeah. I'll make that known that that's inappropriate. You have to still make that known.
But she's like, but like I want to be I want to be a London boy.
Even my girl wants you try to be African.
I like you because you're you.
Stop that.
Because the reason why you saw her is because she's Caribbean,
Exactly,
not because she's
not because
African.
you're I like you for you.
Because she's trying to not mock it, but
I feel like it's a mockery though.
I don't know if it's a mockery. That's it. I don't know if it's a mockery, but I feel like it is.
If it's not you, you shouldn't. But it's like, you shouldn't be like saying, "Oh, I'm going out with so and so now, so therefore I'm just also wearing dashikis."
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay.
Like, I feel like I mean like I feel like you can wear like say if like you're going to church or something, now you wear them. It's like you want to wear some African garb or something.
Yeah. But what if they with
I
garments? I feel like it's different. Right? I feel like. What if you really liked it? What if all of us, they're like, what if, not to say all of a sudden, say that they really got it.
Nah, there's a way around it. It's more like, if, for example, she tried to mimic something from your mother, which come from nowhere, you think
no.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. What are you doing? Like, you don't behave like that, but all of a sudden you're gonna be like that.
So like, say if she was like a girl you just met, like a white girl, and then she got with you, and then she just all of a sudden just got her hair like braids, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I just want."
Yeah, but if you really liked her, you talk to her, innit, and be like, "Yeah, why?" Like,
no, she just did it because she's with you now.
Yeah,
and now she owns this black ass.
Yeah, no, but see, for example, so that is something that would upset me. Do you know what I mean? What? Like, I always like that. So, like, what? It's not me. It's because I'm black. You know what I mean? Like that.
So am I a gimmick?
Yeah.
You're a statistic.
Yeah.
You're part of my list.
Oh, definitely.
But you sound like an experiment or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like some kind of fetish.
But no, I'm just saying to say like I said, just to like maybe just say like, oh, I tried cooking this food for you, like to come home or something like that. Like that I see. Like if you actually have a genuine interest, but I feel like there's a way of approaching it where it's like you're mocking the situation.
No, she's not mocking the situation. For the fact that she actually spent some time doing it.
Yeah, if you're,
it's like the same thing you said about when she comes home and she tells you braids. That she won't sit down in a salon to get braids for half a day, and she's doing that for a genuine reason. I think so. But when it comes to behavior, certain behavior, would you all of a sudden copy your accent, for example?
Yeah.
That would be like, you're taking the piss at me or something.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
And then her reply,
That's
Yeah, that's not necessary.
I'm trying to be like you.
Because you don't actually need to do that.
Where does it come from? Like, you don't need to.
I don't want to date myself.
In a hairdresser to doing her hair for like you to please you, then it's a different story, man.
Yeah. No, I think it's one of those things where I think it's more like understand that race is a thing in terms of it will make your relationship a bit different because of the fact that you might have to adjust. If you get me, where if you date someone that own, there will be there's a lot less of adjustment period.
As well makes it count as well because it's two different cultures that you try to fusion with your one, and that will always bring clashes. Whether you try to avoid it, I'm living it. Like that's basically what I live now, and the communication that we have even sometimes when we talk to parents about it is different level of how things supposed to be, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
So the way you talk to each other, like parents, is different.
The way.
So like you talk to your mum and the way she talks to her mum, something like that. So you mean?
Definitely.
Yeah.
But that happens even between me and my missus. We don't speak to our parents. Like me and my dad and my mum, we banter. We always have. That's how they raised us. But my wife's relationship with her mum, they're extremely close, but it's different. That's your mum. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't. She could just say to her mum like, "Oh, shut up, mum." Like that's not a thing. But me and my dad,
My girl says
shut up,
that
dad,
to
and
my
then
mum,
whatever. Because that's how we relate.
If my girl said that to my mum, she would get slapped as well. You know, like what?
Yeah.
And first, she would get mad because.
Whose side you taking?
Huh?
Whose side you taking?
I'm not in the room, man. I'm not in the room, man.
You don't get involved in
But the thing is that when if my girl says that to my mom, she will take it to some next level because first, you're my daughter.
Your mom's the elder.
Yeah, but my mom's the older, and secondly, you don't. It's not the same culture, so you don't have to talk to me that way because I'm there. You're there, you know. And three, I'm trying to adapt to you. So for you to tell me to shut up, in my house, that's never gonna happen.
I think personally, you need to know the difference anyway.
Yeah.
Not you generally, but I mean like
in general,
if you're bantering with your parents, you gotta know that.
Me, I never banter with my parents.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
If I banter with my parents, I guess go to your room.
Yeah.
If I banter, I tried to banter with my dad once. It didn't work, man.
There was this one time.
I tried my dad, it didn't work. It works now because I'm not in the house. I'm not even with my parents anymore. So when I see them, and I make benters, it's cool. But when I used to be with them, and I wanted to make benters with them, it would never work. Like I tried, it doesn't work. If my girl says try to be like me and bring the same culture of benters that we both have to my parents here, she will get blasted off, man. She will get blasted.
I think it's similar. It's like my girl had like a funny meme that she wanted to send to my mum, and she goes, "I don't want to send it to your mum because I don't know how she'd react." But then I told my mum about it. I sent it to my mum, and she goes, "Oh, she could have sent it any time. She knows what I'm like."
Because you said it, because you reported to her. But if she will come to with that benter, it would be a different story.
But she knew the boundary of saying, "You know what? I want your permission first before I do it."
But
I think people need to know.
Because you brought it up here, it's cool. She will tell you, she would. But in real life, it's not true, man.
My mum banners.
I know my one don't.
So it's all about traditional. Someone who's maybe
my
not
one,
so traditional.
my parents and that are very conservative, man. It's like they're square.
Some people have that boundary where they say, "I'm older than you, so you talk to me a certain way." I know that because my older brother married a Nigerian girl. So there's boundaries where there's uncles. That sort of thing. Aunties. That sort of thing.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing about when you get in a relationship with someone is you get in a relationship with that person.
Yeah.
That's the problem. A lot of people when they get into relationships is very surface level. You're not thinking about your culture, your family, and what what I have to be like. So whoever's going to be in a relationship with you has to understand where you came from, what your family's like, and whatever. And
you need to know why you came for as well, because you want me, you need them. Then that's it. That it means that you want my parents, you want my sister, you want my. It's everyone. It's not just me. It's everyone that surrounds the family.
Yeah. So when it comes to bring it back, when it comes to race or culture, it's a similar thing. You cannot go to be with someone if you actually reject part of their culture, or you're not willing to. Like,
It's a 100% situation. You have to be 100%. If you're 99% with this, it will never work, man, because you're not on it. You're not on it 100%.
Yeah. And like I said, I think that's what it's that. Like I said, this main topic I do honestly think comes mainly from women, and not in a bad way, just in a like, why you like? Do you know what I mean? Like, why are you not with?
Yeah, why
one
you
of
not
us.
with me? Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? That's what I think it really comes from. Why are you not coming with one of us? And it would be easier to go with your own. But I honestly think that mixing cultures is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So long as you both make the effort.
I can relate to that as well.
Yeah.
Because my girl's noticed points where she's had awkward looks when she's with me, sort of thing. And I've seen where I've had awkward looks being with her, sort of thing. And that's like coming from her race and my race.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some people do look on the surface, and like Kyle said, these were all women. Yeah. The whole story of you're taking my man, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Taking our women, taking
our women, that sort of thing. Yeah. All stand back for that. And what Kyle was saying about the older generation, how some of the younger generation didn't get to see, you know, like how police treated people on the surface level.
Yeah.
We only see indirectly.
Yeah. Like how they got treated and properly, how people, you know, I've heard stories of people getting run down the street by like a gang of people. People just looking like, oh, you know, like, oh, not really caring. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of a standard thing. But ultimately, all these places we hear about now, where if you go there, they're fine, Eltham down and whatever. But your parents will tell you, no, that those were racist areas because they were It's like when we go, they're the brick front line. What it was like when we were kids. Yeah. It's the same thing for them. It's like, no, you don't understand. These areas when we were kids were combative. Do you get what I mean? To us, we go over and we went to school in Lee and whatever. It's completely normal.
Green, they said stay away from them, more or less.
You know,
because when they were younger.
Yeah, you know. So I think it comes from that. Sorry, my mind's going blank.
My dad said he's been stopped by police and one of them for no reason called him a nigger just to see how he reacts to the situation. And it does happen.
No, we took a darker turn.
No, I mean, I'm just talking about.
It's all related.
Yeah,
I think it's all related.
Touching on the outside.
That's when we started talking about it being like living in London and us being more accepting of it in certain places in America.
Yeah, and even further out,
even outside of London, the UK. Or just that's when we got into major cities being more diverse and people being more accepting of each other.
Would you say that?
Whereas outside of London, if you're walking with your woman, you might get 10 times more looks. You might just get the looks just because do you know what I mean?
But at this time for us though, race and like relationships aren't relevant then. They shouldn't. It's the culture that kind of relevant. Just the embracing of it.
Yeah, I think it should be, but I do get a little bit of like I do see that the younger generation has a bit of blindness.
Yeah.
Because of like I said, things are comfy for us to a degree. I won't say for everyone. It's a lot easier to overlook the fact that when I go to work, I am one of 3 black teachers. I am the only person of my age there. Do you get what I mean? Like that's like we go to meetings and you make light of it because it's blatant. Like if you can say it, it's fine because it's that blatant. Do you get what I mean? Like if you look at the senior manager, you have me, the other teachers. Look at senior management, they ain't none of us. Do you get what I mean? If you look at the principals and their meetings, they ain't none of us. Do you get what I mean? It becomes a lot more visible at those levels. Yeah, which are things that might not directly affect us, and you might not directly.
That's where it changes on a personal level. Like we just discussed, that was all on a personal level. Yeah. But when it comes to society, that's when it starts to become a little bit different and darker representation.
Yeah, because it's all leftovers from what came before. Do you get what I mean? So.
I don't know, man, about that because the thing is that we still facing racism as a fact. Whether you live in, whether you work in education, IT, sales, whatever, you still have that differences, and even today it happened, man. So I don't know, man. I don't know how to place my words, man.
I hear what you mean. I think we're saying the same thing, really. I'm not saying we don't face racism. I'm just telling you that our racism's not the same as our parents' racism. Yeah. It's not. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And our parents.
That is a topic for another moment.
Yeah.
But I'm constitutional. But I'm scared my laptop is going to die.
Oh, okay.
Because it cuts out. Literally, it just turns off and restarts.
Then keep going.
No, that's another topic for another thing.
No, we're not saying
we can now. It's not saved, does it? All this time.
No, I have to export. No, because it'll just stop completely. But I'm just saying, that was interesting.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that everyone came through. Everyone actually came through today for the podcast. The WhatsApp chat became an actual conversation. Yeah.
We should do that more often, man. Yeah.
Well, we do. We Everyone thinks
It's
about.
like week 9.
It's actually 14, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yesterday, though.
No one's counting.
Yeah.
Special guest.
I can't. I'm not naming everyone here. Except for Joseph.
Young Joseph, you know.
Happy.
Alright, then, that was another episode of Chatting and Thoughtfish. Thanks for joining us. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at Chatting and Thoughtfish. You can hear our plays on iTunes, YouTube, and SoundCloud. Until next time, peace.